Welcome back. The time has come for us to start up the good version of Plat Chat. Again.
Any version with Brennon is not a good version of Plat Chat.
After a long hiatus.
You're right.
Bren has actually been gone longer than I have because Bren called out sick of an episode before.
No, I didn't turn up sick. I didn't call out sick. I think I was just maybe I was sick.
You were hungover. Oh,
there
no,
was one time.
You played games till 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you were like, "Oh, I just can't make it. Like, I'm sorry."
Yeah, no, I actually, I did that thing when you're at school and you're just like, I don't really feel like going to school today.
Yeah. I used to do that so much that my parents still think I was a very sickly child.
Definitely, but
your
commitment to the Overwatch community.
But it was like, nah, bro. You know, it was getting to like the end. Like there wasn't really much news happening. You boys could cover it.
Yeah, but it would have been cool if you said that. Just like, do one without me. But
right,
like, I played games until 5.
The most important thing,
11 a.m. tomorrow, I'll be there. And then you just didn't show.
The most important thing is, I'm here now.
I mean,
and Josh is right though. You know, when any episode with me isn't a good episode, it's the fucking best episode. So let's get this show on the road, boys.
Hopefully, we can increase the number of best episodes. Johnny, what the hell are you wearing? A bomber jacket with shorts? The hell with a button down underneath?
I think Johnny might be the Swedish American Psycho.
Dude, he wears
living in a perfectly white apartment.
The guy wears a turtleneck, dude. Thinks he's a fashion icon, dude. Just throwing shit together that doesn't make any sense. Let's talk about the 2020 homestand model. You guys have gotten to different homestands than I have gotten to go to. Johnny has not gotten to go to any, thank God.
That was sick.
What do you guys thought about it? What have you thought about it from afar, Johnny? Actually, I want to know your opinion because you've watched it all.
How is my opinion the most irrelevant when I haven't even attended a homestand and I just watched a video screen just like, fans are cheering. Great atmosphere. Love it. They were great.
Okay, fine, but here's the point. We're gonna say the homestands are awesome because everybody's cheering and the excitement and the energy is in.
What do you want me to say? They were shite.
Does it come across on the broadcast? Does it what the fuck? All right, fine. We'll skip Johnny's opinion. I don't want it anyway. Nobody watches for Johnny's opinion.
They were great, Matt. I loved it. It's so nice to be out of Bala. I love it.
What's your opinion on how it's gone so far?
Oh man, it was some good shit. You know, I remember the one. It was Dallas.
Yeah,
but the Dallas fans are wild, bro. I was sick the entire event. What?
I said like a question.
Why did you shouted it like you were talking to Chelsea?
Because Johnny's mic is like
no, just shut up, bro. Listen, that was good though, but I was sick and the fans kept coming up to me as we were about to cast and like, hey, Bren, and I was like, whoa, what? And they were always like, beer? You want a beer? And I was like, nah, I got a cast. And they're like, and like super disappointed, you know.
Because, I do kind of wish it was the good old days of esports where you could get
like TF2.
TF2. Oh, you could get properly hammered.
Do you think the few players drank before they went on stage?
They played all right, man. Get out of here. I don't think you watched. They literally broke the map win streak from the San Francisco Shock. What more do you want from these guys? They were never going to win.
A win?
They're never going to win. They're never going to win.
Oh man, you can tell, dude. Josh is part of the Overwatch community, man. Celebrating map wins now, man. Oh my lord.
That's all the Texans can look forward to. Houston Outlaws and Dallas fans, they're going to be.
They got one more than Outlaws, so
true. New York was sick. Good. New York and Philly were both sick. Philly, I love Gritty, man. There is not a weirder looking mascot in anything. And he comes out, he just shakes his belly like
he's a freak. He's a freak.
The homestand model really hit me when Gritty was standing in front of Yaki's PC, and he went like this, and then he just started to just rub his belly in front of him, and Yaki just kind of sat there and just looked at him like, all right. Can you
imagine being a brand new young Korean rookie that comes over here
and your first experience is Gritty rolling his belly in your face? I thought it was so hilarious. Weird.
That's so weird. I love the Homestand model though because it means that all of the terrible games are not boring anymore. Like each game has its own flavor, or there's just like the city is cool, or you're just enjoying it because of that. There was like a grind in the last two seasons where you got to stage 2 and you're like, oh my god, another Washington Justice game. I can't handle it.
Washington, London, stage 1.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Because everything was the same. It was like, and then they would come out to the Blizzard Arena and then play their matches.
And then would be like clapping. Like
people are going to be quite surprised to hear that as well, though, from us because we're working in an industry that a lot of people want to work into, right? And they're probably just like, "What? You're saying you didn't enjoy it last year? Like when stage 2, stage 3 came around?"
Well,
but you do one thing over and over again, and eventually you're just like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like. So someone bring out the Shanghai cheerleaders, someone spice this up, bro.
Yeah, do it a bit different.
I think it was way different after we went out to like the first roadshow last year and saw what it was like, and then I think the arena vibe definitely changed, right?
Yeah,
where you were like, oh, I want people to boo, like the Valiant, they go to Dallas, they get booed. The Dallas gets cheered back in LA, like it just was. Not the same. I love that the fans have showed out and just booed people. Like, fuck it, right?
Was it Philadelphia where they started cheering for people instead, though? We were watching on the couch, and Golden Boy was like, this is the most friendly audience I've ever seen.
I mean, they cheered like Washington, Houston. They cheered both teams.
Right.
Like a normal Philly sports crowd, like even if Philly wasn't playing, they would just boo everybody. Like
boo both the teams.
Those people are just mean. Yeah, people in Philly.
That's true. I heard Philly sports fans are absolutely wild, but they seemed, I don't know, just average.
They were put together. Yeah, it wasn't like a normal Philly kind of like people are passed out drunk outside the stadium type of thing.
Greasing
like,
up the lampposts.
Yeah, everyone was. I
will say this though about Texas: it's too fucking big. What? You know what I mean? Like
it is. Yeah.
I tried to walk to a pharmacy. It took me 30 minutes. Had to cross a highway, and by the time I got to the pharmacy, they were like, "Oh no, it's just prescription drugs only." It was just a white box I'd walked into with a counter, and they were like, "You got to go to Walgreens," and I was like, "How far away is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's just around the corner." Assuming I drive, I start walking. We got rehearsals in 15 minutes. Start walking, check my phone. It's another 15 minutes to walk to Walgreens. And I was just like, I got an Uber from this residential house that I've landed.
Why didn't you just get an Uber for the first place?
Because I don't want to be getting Ubers left, right, and center.
It was less than a mile away. It was less than a mile away. It is weird in Texas. Like you need a car, otherwise you just can't get from place to place.
Okay.
They haven't built the place for pedestrians. Matt doesn't walk anywhere anyway, though. He gets carried. He gets carried.
Look at this bougie motherfucker. He had a reason to be carried because he's 4'8". Look at him.
Hey,
I'll tell you what else I like about Homestand.
Why use my legs now, dude? I'll save my legs for the future.
Matt, have you been able to bring your box on the road with you?
No, they've gotten creative. They've gotten creative with the box. Like, I'm on like these like kind of the top of cases or some shit. Or last week you could only see like from our necks up, so we were just kind of like heads. Maybe the box isn't required. Look, I'm just out there repping. People are short. There's like, and I love the fact, like I always like tweet me like, oh, you're short, like Hex is shorter than me, fuck off. like that guy's smaller than me. It's just because Jaws is as small as him. They don't gotta do nothing about it. Like
I do enjoy watching though, because you can still tell with Jaws and Hex because the camera looks down at them, so you can see more of their heads. You can see the top of their heads when they're on camera.
I've casted with Puckett, big ass dude, Clint, Maven, big ass guy, and then Mitch, like
big ass guy,
like those three
really into ass play, Maven.
just big three big fucking people, like and I'm tiny.
Yeah,
I'm tiny. I ain't trying to hide it. I'm not out there telling people I'm big or I'm tall. Don't matter.
We need to get Matt a short play-by-play caster just for one series.
I'll be more comfortable. Yeah,
just get Mitch into a horrific car accident so he loses both his legs.
What the fuck?
That would be a worse option, probably. But
tell you what else about the Homestands I like is the fact that the teams are going to run them in different sized venues, so you get different feels even from the homestands. Dallas ran the first one in the Allen Center, which holds, I think it held like 4,500. And then they held this one in the Arlington Esports Stadium, where it holds about 2,000. We've got Philadelphia holding it in like opera halls, which Philly, I think are sick.
One of the ones for Philly is going to be sweet. It's in Atlantic City at a casino, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me look it up.
Pretty dope.
One of them is at like a I think the other one's at the Met, and then the other one's like at a completely different venue.
Yeah.
So like, I do think
Matt just leaked the venue. Great job, great job, Matt. Welcome to the show.
It's on our fucking web. It's on our website. I mean, who knows? It may not even be on the website, but it should be on the website. Where the hell it is?
It's not on the app. I can tell you that.
Wait, what's going on?
I don't know.
Nothing, Bren. It's all right. Go back to
Sideshow was happy. There's different sized venues. You know, sometimes you want dive bars, sometimes you want nightclubs. You know.
Yeah.
So pick your poison.
Yeah. Well, so
I mean,
I think it's cool though.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is just like that they sell beer, and for that reason, fans just get way more excited, and they just all over the place. Because at Bala, they only accepted like water and sodas and stuff.
Yeah.
Which meant that no one actually jumped on the set of Watchpoint and annoyed the broadcast, which was nice. But
yeah, that was good.
When you're in Dallas and the fans are just like enjoying themselves with great food and great beverages, and they're just going crazy, I'm like, yeah, this is true sport experience. Feels good.
The Philly one for Atlantic City is on the website. It's going to be called the Boardwalk Brawl in Atlantic City. It's at the it's at a theater right on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, so that'll be pretty sweet.
Oh, sweet! That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that teams experiment with different venues, right? Different sizes, different areas of their city. Like I think it'll be really interesting, like when somebody kind of decides, like, okay, this is our home venue, and we're not like leaving this spot, right?
Yeah.
I think this year you may as well experiment. Like if you're in New York, do different parts of the city.
Well, it depends as well, though, right? Because for different teams, it's different. Like with Dallas, if they're going to be running a homestand, one of the only Western homestands, then they're going to want a bigger venue. When they're splitting it with New York, right? They don't want people potentially flying to New York, so you want a slightly smaller venue. And there's also you have to consider like one of the homestand weekends at Dallas takes place the same weekend as a DreamHack event, the same weekend as like an anime convention. One of the biggest ones in Houston or Dallas. I think it might be in Dallas. So for that reason, I think they're going with a smaller venue. Yeah,
Bren requested to go to that homestand. Not for the homestand, definitely not the anime convention.
The homestand. No, I don't request games. I'm not that guy, you know. But yeah, I just found that interesting. But I think Dallas are one of the few teams that put a lot of thought into the kind of like homestand and venues. And the one thing I really appreciate about Dallas is that there's always stuff to do outside of it. Like with our event that we were working, they had a bunch of like collegiate. Basically, they had a bunch of other games being played as well.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Other stuff to do.
Yeah, the universities were playing games, so you could go and watch them before the homestand actually happened.
New York had a ton of cool shit too. You could buy tickets, like I think that included like all of the events, and they did like a college game night at like that OS Internet Cafe. And then after that, it turned into like a pre-weekend party that Pine hosted. And then one night, you could buy tickets, and Pine hosted a karaoke event.
That's dope.
At a karaoke place, and it was like I think it was Pine and Emong hosted like a karaoke party, like. Because I think you do need to provide something else for your fans just besides the games.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course you do.
Like,
yeah.
I said this in an interview recently with the Washington Post people who were talking about the homestand stuff for this year. I was like, esports is so different to traditional sports because the viewership experience is no different if you turn up at the stadium. You are still watching a video screen of the game happening. Like, it doesn't benefit you to watch Yaki's face as he does a 360 no-scope on May. He doesn't... You can't get anything extra from that. So you need to provide an experience as well.
I mean, you want to combine the best possible fan activation, meaning things you can do in the arena, whether it's like buy merch, maybe if you have like an arcade area and you can like do like an arcade high score tournament or something, just something to keep the fans engaged. And then you want to keep that combined with the viewing experience of the game itself. And I mean, that's why I think DreamHack is such a great event, because you get the best of both worlds. Yeah. But when you go to like an OWL homestand, I find that the viewing experience is a bit better than DreamHack because you have way more seats and the stadium is awesome and all that stuff. But
I mean,
I think gotta combine both worlds.
What are you gonna say, Brennan?
Did you see the gambling shit that Dallas were doing?
Wait, what?
That was sick.
Uh-huh.
They had like a little, the little thing where you put a coin in and it goes doot, 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 and hits all the things and goes down and slots into 7.
Yeah,
they were doing that in between the games.
They were robbing fans.
No. They would call up a random fan, and then they would say, "All right, here we go," and then they would like run whatever video. Obviously, I don't know how they did it, but there was like the common, uncommon, epic, legendary in Overwatch, basically, and it was like putting down like a token or some shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Some of the stuff they were giving away was like a year's worth of Jack in the Box. It was like some of the shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like a legendary. And then, but the even like the common stuff was like
they giving a year of health insurance with the Jack in the Box as well.
Hey, Jack in the Box, sponsor us, huh? No slide, no shade. But yeah, and then even the uncommon awards were like a ticket to the next homestand.
Yeah,
like both days.
That's pretty good.
Like just like the
That's
very
cool
basic
shit, right?
shit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also to like Josh's point, right? Like you can, you go see a football or a basketball game, right? I think the one difference that we can offer is after a Laker game, you can't go do karaoke with LeBron James. We can offer that kind of access to. We can access to players like in a way that you can't in traditional sports.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Especially with like them streaming all the time, you just get unprecedented interaction with the pros. Yeah,
so something I want to talk about, we'll skip the next topic, but I want to talk about the new systems that are going to be in Rainbow Six Siege and League of Legends and some of the stuff that we would want to see potentially in Overwatch, like as it moves forward in just like the franchise, as a competitive game. So Rainbow Six at their nationals, they add a ton of stuff. So they added 2 new champions. So I think it gets the total to 53 in terms of like offensive and defensive champions. They added a map voting system in game for competitive play. So before you get in a game, both teams get to vote on which map they'd like to play. Then you get to play that map. Very, very difficult concept to understand. And then they both games, League of Legends and Rainbow Six, both added a tournament mode. Rainbow Six didn't really give a ton of details, I don't think, on how theirs work. But with the way that League of Legends system is going to work is that Clash tournaments are going to open up every other weekend. There's like a timing window between when you have to like make your roster. But you can make the team name, you can pick an avatar, and then everybody on your team needs to buy a token to enter to play. So there's a regular token and then like a premium one. Mm-hmm. It takes your team's overall skill ranking and competitive ranking and matches you against 7 other teams in an 8-team single in bracket for the day. And for every round that you win, you like level up the prizes that you earn at the end of the tournament. The prizes like vary depending on whether you bought like the regular ticket or the premium ticket. But it's super cool because when you get placed into a bracket, it gives you the other teams that you get placed in the bracket with. And let's say I click on Bren's team, I can see a list of like all the heroes that like each player on Bren's team likes to play. A little breakdown of like whether they're more on the passive side or the aggressive side, and then like all different types of like different scouting tools for like the ban phase and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think a system like either of those I think would be awesome to see in Overwatch, like as an addition to competitive play.
The big thing I would say, the biggest benefit from this might be a very drastic take. Actually, no, this is going to be...
Prepare for the Brennan bot take.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Actually, the thing I was about to utter, I immediately just fucking destroyed my own argument in my own head in a millisecond. So I'm not even going to utter what I was going to say.
No, go on. You have to say it. You have to say it and then give the counter argument now.
Okay, originally I was going to be like, in terms of the longevity of the game and the health, I wouldn't be too upset if they replaced the entire tier 2, tier 3 scene with a tournament system in game. But then I was like, actually, no, that's a fucking awful idea. Because then do they even still do lands and contenders? Have they scrapped that yet?
No, they've still got showdowns and gauntlets.
Okay, well that's good. They've got that at least. But there's multiple reasons why that's terrible. Firstly, I mean, online tournaments with hackers. Somebody could just hack their way into like a top position if nobody was paying attention to it. But also the fact that it would be online and not played in a serious system. But the benefits, what I was thinking of, the first thing that even put this idea in my head in the first place would be, can you remember the viewership when Seagull made that team and competed?
Yeah.
The viewership would be insane if you could just have these stream teams and they play in these regular tournaments all the time.
I mean, that's what happened during the break, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Because we had one of those tournaments during the break, and we had the stream team going with was it Jake, Emon, Clone Man, Costa, Avast, and like
ML7.
People love that.
I can give you a direct example of where a game that already has it and it does so well every single year. But Dota has, because Dota is so free flowing, they just allow fucking whatever. But the international, they have open qualifiers. And the streamers create stream teams and they play through the open qualifiers. And because they're ex-pros, they make it really far. And the viewership is nuts.
COD,
the content is insane.
For COD's World Championship, the way that I qualified was through the in-game ladder. And like people fucking loved it because like even the teams that were like pro were like, oh well, fuck it, we'll just try and qualify through the in-game ladder because it's easier than getting like top 8 at like an MLG. So everybody was fucking playing it. But like it was so hyped though because you'd see like two teams like queue into each other and you're like, oh shit, fucking Optics playing complexity on this one game. I gotta go fucking watch. And it was like, I mean, 90% of the time you're just beating the piss out of just people have no idea the hell's going on. But like, sometimes you got a good game and it was like super hype. But everybody always wanted to watch. Like imagine how like much more integrated you can get it now, right? Where like, let's say you can check like the leaderboards like in game of like where the teams were, and you could like click on somebody's like Twitch or YouTube link like through the game, and like just promote those people, right? Like I think there's so much opportunity.
Oh my God, it would be so good
because it's just a great tool for people to be able to stream Overwatch more and watch more Overwatch. Like, I don't think there's a downside to that.
And also, it just advertises to people who weren't aware that competitive Overwatch was a big thing, that it is a big thing. Like, people who are doing all right that are in, like, what, Diamond or Masters or something that don't realize that Overwatch League is a thing will get turned onto it by playing it themselves and by coming up against players and looking at competitive matches and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is the more features and the more things you can access in-game, the better. And I don't think it's strictly an esports issue. Like, you can talk about tournament mode and how sick that would be in the game and that kind of stuff. But there's also the social element and just being able to make friends playing the game. Because I have so many friends who play Overwatch, but then they have a hard time adding friends or finding people who play the game that have as much fun with them. And that's where stuff like guild systems and that stuff comes in, because as it is, Overwatch as a game and community is very functional because we have so many great software like Discord where you can join a community and make new friends and then play with them. But the easier you make that, the more you make it accessible in game in the client, the better it's just going to be for the game, because that's how the beginners and how the casual fans make new friends and stay and play the game longer.
I also would like to see map voting in Overwatch. Like, I feel like if I'm going to play a map of
fuck
Overwatch,
voting, dude.
Why don't you like that?
Yeah, why don't you like that?
No, it just takes away from the game, dude. I just want to play the game.
Well, you mean it just takes more time?
If I'm gonna dedicate like 30 minutes for an Overwatch game, and I'm queued with 3 other people, and we don't want to play Temple Anubis. I want to play a map I want to play.
No, I hate voting as a system because it takes up time and stuff.
I'd
rather just see them adopt the World of Warcraft system where it's like, before you even queue, you can decide one map you don't want to play. Yeah, and that also sends a message to the developers. As long as you do it before you actually queue.
So you can make it like CS:GO, where like you just click on like, the maps that you want to be eligible to play.
But when you narrow it down so much, all you're going to get is longer queue times, and then you have less people playing the game because they can't be able to play King's Row when they want to.
That's definitely true.
And so you're just increasing the queue times and making less people play. I'd be fine if you were able to maybe remove 1 or 2 maps from the pool that you didn't want to use. But even that gets complicated because now we have a narrowed down pool already. So maybe 1 map you could remove, like you remove a battleground in World of Warcraft. It's like, I really don't want to play this PvE-oriented battleground. I'd rather just smack people in Warzone Gulch. So you can remove the map you like the least. I'd be done with that.
Honestly,
but no voting system after you've queued for a game and you're in the game.
I actually, at the beginning of Overwatch, always really wanted a map voting system because I used to play like CSGO and stuff before where you could select the maps that you'd want to play. Now, after playing a lot of Overwatch, it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't know whether it's because I just don't take it that seriously, but when I load into different maps...
You don't take Overwatch seriously when you play?
No, I take Overwatch very seriously when I play. I don't, I always try my hardest.
It's super unfortunate for the people that you play with or against.
It's not unfortunate for the people I play against. They love it.
They probably, I mean, that's true. But I
only play with people I know. So
I'm just trying to ensure the quality of games here. Make sure everybody's getting high quality games.
All right,
like
policeman,
that. It says in the terms of service.
Yeah, listen, I have never abused the terms of service even once, but. Because I think actually though that a lot of the maps in Overwatch are pretty similar. You can play the same stuff on most maps. Like there's a bit of flavor on each one. Some of them are a bit like choke pointy and difficult to find a lot of enjoyment out of. But I don't know. It's not like CS where you play some map and you just have no idea what the angles are and you just get rolled all the time.
I guess
that's terrible.
I guess the benefits of like a voting system, even when like if you voted for like heroes, right? You did hero bans, like a system like that, is you can figure out which heroes and maps people don't want to play for whatever reason, and you can rework them.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I think otherwise you'll just never have that data, and you're just kind of going off of like the Blizzard forums.
We've very, very rarely seen maps reworked in Overwatch.
But Horizon?
Horizon was the only one, wasn't it?
Anubis and
No.
What are the other ones that have been reworked?
Anubis got a rework.
Didn't Anubis get a rework like in closed beta?
Yeah, it got like
Iconvolt
early on.
When did Iconvolt get a rework?
Iconvolt's had numerous changes where the gate got replaced with rubble, and they added an extra choke.
Do you even play Overwatch?
Oh yeah, they opened up another choke. Yeah, that's true.
What else? I'm forgetting another one. They reworked Paris, I think, didn't they?
Did they?
No,
I think people have been clamoring.
Maybe that's
they need to. Yeah,
maybe that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Didn't they remove Paris and Horizon from the map pool?
Yeah.
There's
and
got to
then
be more than
added them
that.
back. I feel, just my gut feeling, without looking it up, is that the map reworks have been very, very few and far between. And normally they try and rework heroes instead, which is strange because I feel like map design is so much more impactful than
well, you can design design maps that benefit certain heroes, right? Like instead of others.
Yeah.
It's just let's
but
see.
I think the community really sent a message with a map like Paris, because people, I mean, oh my God, Reddit and the forums, they were just up in arms about how ass Paris was, and then they removed Paris from the map pool, and everyone were just like, rejoice. So I still think people are able to send that message, because usually people just single out 1 or 2 maps and then you just poop all over it because people have a hard-on for shitting on things. So
yeah, but the issue is people had to play it for like 6 months before we figured out that it
but that's part of Jeff saying as well that they're going to be more reactive with balancing and stuff. So
that's really interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about the change in the balance philosophy. That's something new.
Yeah, people have been asking for that for a long time, right? And I really feel like it's a hugely significant shift in balance philosophy from the developers. They've always been of the opinion, at least it seems to be from totally on the outside, that they have tried to make the game as balanced as possible for everybody playing the game so that they feel, generally speaking, you can run a lot of different heroes within the game. And it doesn't really matter what people in the community think is powerful. They go off their own tests and data that they have behind the scenes. But now they're just like going completely the opposite way. They're like, if you think Brig is broken and you're all complaining about Brig, we will smash her into the ground. Yeah. We don't mind if we think it's balanced. We are going to kill her.
But I think it's also like so there's no real point to putting changes on the PTR other than bug fixes, like other than to make sure it's not a bug issue.
I mean,
because you don't get like you have a huge console player base. They don't ever see the PTR, so you're not testing
they do
anything
now.
for them.
They do now. Yep, they changed it so they do now.
No, they'll
Right?
have they have access to the
experimental
stuff.
Yeah, right. Isn't that gonna
that's still
essentially
going to
be the PTR now?
I mean, you assume so, right? They're going to try a bunch of shit in there, but then on the PTR for the PC, you don't have anybody like not a significant number of people are playing it to be able to test these changes out anyway. So you may as well throw it into the game, see what happens after a day or two if it's completely busted or not, and then adjust from there. Or throw it into what they'll probably start doing is throwing it more into that experimental playlist.
Yeah, I hope so.
When that goes live, and then testing it in the live game.
I mean, we nearly got 250 HP McCree, and that got removed from PTR after a couple of days.
And the same with like, was it Orisa barrier that got revoked a little bit or something?
Can't remember.
It was Fortify. But I think the main takeaway from that is just like, even if you just put some random shit on the PTR and you have the community react to it, even if they don't really experiment with it, I think the transparency is huge. And the fact that the community are seeing changes on the PTR, whether they play it or not, helps the player base actually realize that they're working on things. And that's a big milestone, I want to believe.
I think maybe major things need to go on the PTR, like new heroes, new maps, like stuff that's going to be like in the works for like, a month. But
I mean, isn't it usually?
Well, I mean, no.
Oh, yeah, you're saying it is.
Yeah, it's like a week. Yeah, that stuff's like, but like some of the balance changes are like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then they don't even make it into the game sometimes. Like, well, you may as well just like throw it in and then give it a week, right? Like if you can.
No. That was the point I was making. Is that I think they should make crazy changes on the PTR. And then if it's garbage, like 250 health McCree, you just like revoke it.
Yeah, like
because
like
it's better than not doing anything at all.
Right, like what they started to do with like the 1.441 and 1.443 and like stuff like that. Like the patch numbers are just getting kind of like whatever.
They are, yeah.
Like put like your 1.5 patch on the PTR, right? But then your 1.443, just put it into the game. Like anything that's like
things.
a major, anything that's major, just go.
I like this new change in philosophy where they're just obviously. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
That's a big shock. You like more change. You like more changes more of the time. That's.
I don't like
really hot take to take there. You want things faster and different.
I don't like hero pools in the way they're introduced currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that there's improvement to be made with hero pools. I would like to see longer time with a pool in place.
Yeah, How long? Because they're on for a week at the moment, which gives teams only 4 days to scrim.
Now.
Yeah, 2 weeks seems fairly reasonable to me.
Yeah. And because that allows at least the OWL teams to be competitive. My main worry when I saw all of this was that what we're going to end up with is I like to see good quality Overwatch. What I'm concerned with, though, is that now we're going to be seeing more map 5s against teams because no one can really gain a mastery of the meta, Well,
what do you mean? I actually don't think it's going to be... Like, I think you can see a world in which, you see one comp run for the first week, you have an idea which characters are going to be gone for week 2, you play a different set for week 2, and then after that, you just go back to the week 1 scenario. You know how Overwatch League teams are.
Practice time, though.
You know how Overwatch League teams are. They're going to find, like, 3 different permutations of, like, comps that don't include some of these heroes, and they're just going to rotate throughout, like, the 3 different comps.
Yeah,
like,
I could be overreacting to it, but it's just a worry I have at the back of my mind that we're going to see worse quality games as a result.
I think they will be worse quality, but they'll be more diverse and potentially interesting because of the weird heroes that are being.
Do you know what's going to suck though?
I think that's just the trade-off.
If Reinhardt gets banned,
I
actually do think that. You look at the tanks that are being played at the moment, and Reinhardt, I think, is number 1 in terms of playtime. And sorry, I mean in terms of tanks.
Oh,
right, because they are definitely making one tank unavailable once we actually get to hero pools. So if Reinhardt was the one that was actually selected, that would suck. I mean, there are some heroes that are in the game that are just, I feel like they're objectively good. They're just good heroes, and Reinhardt is one of those. Yeah. He's just a sick hero.
Yeah, they're good to see people play. They're fun to play.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone would agree it would be pretty shitty to watch Reinhardt go and then, Orisa just would be like the flavor of the week. Like nobody wants that.
But you also look at the way that they're doing it. it's quite likely that the hero that they randomly pick to become unavailable just doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, they should just make a new they should make a hero pool that runs on the side of hero pools that are permanently unavailable heroes and just dump Arisa in there.
Arisa May for a short while.
Yeah. No, keep her there. Not a short stay.
Well, I mean, I would not be angry at them taking heroes out and reworking them and then putting them back in.
Well, so that's why I liked the idea of like giving it to the community or like doing it on a per map basis, because if you would have seen like, hey, May is removed in 70% of games, like, oh well, maybe people just don't like playing as or against May and we should just take her out and change her, right? Like I think you would have gotten way more data giving it to the community, but you also would have had a scenario where the community just rallied behind, let's just perma nuke these 4 heroes all the time.
That's what I mean. People are just thick, in the head. Like they are thick in the head, and they get caught up in the same pattern.
Yeah, the circle.
So like they're like a goal player will be like, dude, McCree is so busted. He killed me with his ultimate one-shots you. And then it's like, he will just ban McCree every game. Yeah. Because of like that one scenario in his head, you know?
The hexagrams method.
I do the same in League of Legends.
The hexagrams, the Genji. Genji's the
Hex would actually just ban Genji every game. Like if you put bans in his hands. Because Hex is a goal, he's a goal player. So,
but you still go back to it though. Like, if the community rallied around getting rid of 2-3 heroes, like they rallied around, like, not having fun on Horizon, like, you should just rework those heroes then.
Yeah, that's what Rainbow Six does, right? They're very community responsive.
They just, Tachanka, who's, like, the worst champ in Rainbow Six Siege, like, the guy was actually useless. They gave him a fucking, they reworked him. And they gave him a fucking grenade launcher that shoots flames. Like, he just launches flames out. And everyone's like, holy shit. Like, he's going to be fucking crazy good. Yeah. But, like, but I think it's not even... They don't even have to be good when you rework them. Just make them fun.
Yeah. The biggest issue I see with hero pools generally is just that I don't think the ones that get removed in Overwatch are going to be the same as the ones that get removed in the game. And then how are the Overwatch players supposed to practice?
I just think it's a bad feeling when, like, you can go into the game, right? Like, for argument's sake, like, let's say you log on and you play, and Reinhardt, McCree, let's another fun DPS hero, like a Doomfist. Like, those are the heroes that are gone, and you're forced to play, like, May, Arisa. Like, it's just not a great feeling.
No.
For that week of time. Yeah. To where, like, I'm sure, like, if there was right, but if there was a week where it was like, yo, Arisa, May, Baptiste is gone, like, yo, let's throw a fucking party and just land Overwatch, like, all week. Like, I think, like, that's, like, where it's kind of... That's where I think it, like, it's not, like, the optimal system, but I'm not exactly sure leaving it completely up to the community is the right scenario as well. It would have been interesting to see some kind of like what if there was like a hero pools where like 4 heroes are unavailable for the week and then each team picked 1 extra hero to get rid of on top of that, and it could be from any pool.
I think we're not going. This iteration of hero pools is not going to stay the same.
No,
they said
they would be made to it.
They said they were willing to change it or even remove it completely from the game if people didn't like it.
Yeah.
So
I think if they could change it in 2 weeks, that would be pretty good. And hot take. I would appreciate Overwatch as an esport a little bit more if you crown champions based on their skill at Overwatch as a game and not skill at a composition alone.
What is Overwatch as a game, though? Overwatch
so many times in the past, we've just been like, oh, we have this meta for 6 months. This team won because they mastered the composition.
But
Johnny is mad that he got cucked out of Apex Season 1.
True.
What?
True. But it's like, if you have hero pools and you rotate the compositions around, there are a lot of players who flourish in that kind of environment when it's more about counter swapping and it's more about just talent at multiple heroes and swapping things around on the regular. And then there are players who specialize in details and improving, ability usage to the very best. And that's what happened to GOATs, is that people played GOATs for so long that the best teams were the ones who paid the most attention to detail and just excelled. So, Jesus Christ, I'm getting spammed on Discord.
It's Matt.
What the
sorry.
hell? But I like the metas and the tournaments where, for example, I don't know, when GC Busan won Apex and Prophet was known as a Tracer main, and then in grand finals you just goes Genji. And it's just
wake me up when it's over.
It's just more versatility to the game. And I love when the players just swap around more often. And yeah, it's not as refined gameplay. And yeah, the gameplay will suffer a little bit. But I find it way more exciting
Honestly,
when players are known for their versatility.
You could easily have said you don't give a fuck about holding on to ability cooldowns and all this type of shit. You just want people to dunk on other people with skill. Like, that's what I think everybody at home wants. Like, do I want to watch like Carpe play Zarya after watching him play McCree? Nah, fam. Just let him just dunk on people. Like, who cares? I don't care about the nuance of it. Like, just let him just own.
I think we're past the point of no return, though. That was, I think, I don't know. When you look at that, we are past that point. Players don't really pop off anymore. Overwatch was built as a team game.
Well, we definitely saw that this week.
Did you not see Carpe switch Widowmaker?
Yeah, I saw Carpe switch Widowmaker, and yeah, they won the map because of it. And that's sick, right? Having those moments. Listen, there's no one who would advocate more for more Widowmaker, more Genji than me. Like, I love seeing high skill heroes, but at the same time, I love skiing also. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like anything that removes the kind of harms the competitive integrity by not allowing teams to scrim as often on these patches and trying to move away from the kind of idea of having team play just because we want to see more individual talent pop off. Overwatch isn't really that game.
2 weeks makes sense for 2 weeks makes sense for Overwatch League. You'll lose a lot of players in the game if it's 2 weeks. Like if you're like a Diva one trick or something like that, and you can't play Diva for 2 weeks, you'll just go find another game.
Yeah,
I think the meta right now is super exciting because you get sort of similar compositions with like Reinhardt Diva, but then some teams go Orisa Rhine, and then you have teams playing like Lucio Baptiste, and some play Outlaws play Brig Lucio. But it's like you can see the different play styles with teams, and I think hero pools will just enhance and amplify that to the point where teams will specialize perhaps and be better with dive compositions than GOATs.
I don't think so, but I hope so.
Why not? Why don't you think so?
I mean, because I think teams traveling around, they're just gonna kind of go for something that's either super safe or they're going to find something that's incredibly like cheesy and can result in them like getting like a quick map win or something from those lines. I
mean, maybe, but from personal experience, when you're a team. And you can tell in a scrim when you're ass at a composition and you can't figure out the team play and what goes into it. Like, you can tell when you really suck at a comp. And then I think that team will just adopt another composition and another play style as like the desperate attempt to get out of that groove, if that makes any sense.
But they don't have...
Like Boston Uprising, they couldn't play GOATs for shit last year.
Yeah.
And so they were like, okay, we're going full Element Mystic. We're going Doomfist Sombra because we're desperate. And I think with hero pools, you'll get more of that.
But with the turnaround, you won't even know if you're shit at it. Like, you'll get home.
They play the game. I mean,
they only play 4 days.
Yeah, you don't have any time. Yeah.
But players still have like comfort picks and stuff, and I think you can schedule, or not schedule, but you can build compositions around that because some players don't want to be put on certain roles.
I think it's super difficult to tell, honestly. With 4 days, they could be like mad extremes. They could.
I'm not arguing for 1 week. I'm not arguing for 1 week.
No, but I mean, 1 week is the reality, right?
But 1 week is the week every week. Yeah, it's like
so. It's either I think teams are just gonna think something is broken, and so every team in the league tries to run it, and because some heroes are banned, you just can't flex over that much, or teams will just run a variety of crazy shit because no one knows what the meta is. Apparently in scrims, even 2 or 3 weeks even like 2 weeks before the season began, people were running all sorts of stuff in scrims, and it only just narrowed down just before the season actually kicked off. So if you give them less time, maybe they don't get to narrow it down, and so they just play a bunch of different crazy shit.
But I think you'll see stuff that's put together that's kind of like stuff that's completely out of like left field that teams will pull out in like a game, and nobody will be able to like scrim against it or whatnot, and you could result in some like crazy cheesy type of like scenario.
Didn't we see some cheese already this week? Didn't we see some cheesy shit? Can't even remember.
We saw like some Symmetra, but we've
quite a few teams have been running Sim though.
We saw way more Brig this weekend than I saw in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I just that just comes down to the teams. Like some of these teams that played this weekend, they were just better at Brig comps. Or they just decided to play Brig comps because I think it fit the team better. Like, Florida, Chris playing Brig 24/7. It's just.
Yeah, apparently people are playing a lot more Brig in these because so many teams have no matches now until hero pools because the Chinese stuff was cancelled, moved to Korea, whatever, pushback, postponed, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of the teams they can't scrim properly because they don't know what the meta is going to be when their next match is played.
They still don't know what the hero pool is.
Yeah, they don't know what the hero pool is going to be, so they've just got to kind of guess. So I've spoken to a bunch of teams that said, like, we're just banning like the popular heroes and cycling through and trying to figure out what might be good. And when you ban Lucio, apparently Anna Brig is the best. So I think that was why Mayhem were running it.
Well, then, like, it's weird because now some of the teams that are playing can probably only find scrims with people banning out certain heroes, so they're already kind of moving off of those heroes now, and then we still have 3 weeks of play to determine which heroes are gone. So do you start to see the heroes that people are just practicing just move out, right?
Yeah, you might see some
like
weird
ahead of time
scrim metas happen before when hero pools are coming in.
I think it's gonna be I think it'll be like way more exciting to see like the variation. I think it's definitely going to need some more iteration until like it gets to like a great spot. Like knowing how many heroes is the right amount of heroes to be removed. Like what's the right cadence? Is it every week? Is it every few days? Like what is like the hard part is like if the game decides like hey like 3 days is like the best, right? The game changes every 3 days to keep it like fresh. There's no way you could do that now, right? So you'd have to stay like with an every week type of scenario.
I think in a perfect world, you don't really need hero pools because the developers have already made this shift in mentality over to balancing based on, directly countering the meta. I would really just like to see them try and do that as much as possible.
Well, Rainbow Six is able to, they're able to balance and do it. I mean, they have hero bans, but like they necessarily don't exactly need it. It's like more of like a strategy ad. But they can do it because they have different champions for offense and defense. Like the offense and defensive don't share the same pools, but there are champions on offense that are similar to the ones that are on defense, but just with a more offensive, aggressive like kit. Like one may have a smoke grenade on offense that like you can throw it, and the other one on defense may be more of like a static thing, right? Where like they can just put the smoke in one area, like on a defensive setup, and just block off a whole like line of sight. So it's the same concept, but just used in different manners. And all the guns are like pretty similar in type. Each like champion only gets 2 different weapon types. So I think like if you had different champions, for argument's sake, or heroes in Overwatch for offensive and defensive that had similar like kits, like you wouldn't really end up in this scenario, right? I think the one thing that is different from Overwatch than every other game, really, with heroes' abilities and whatnot, is that you can play the same ones on offense and defense. Like both teams can play the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like I think if both teams couldn't play the same exact thing, one, it would get like absolutely crazy, but 2, then they would have to have different things, right? You would have to see more variation. I think the reason you need a hero pool type of scenario is because the best way to counter something is to just match in Overwatch.
Yeah, just the whole concept of mirror matches creates so much unnecessary problem.
But hero pools doesn't solve that problem, though.
Nope, it doesn't.
Hero pools may not solve that problem.
Yeah,
I mean, for all we know, it could make it even more necessary to match.
Yeah, because some of the counters will be banned sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact. Like, sometimes the counter to the most dominant composition will be banned instead of the most dominant composition itself. That will just happen. But, I mean, the advantage of it happening every week is just that different shit will happen every week because it's random. So it's going to be crazy. This year's going to be nuts.
I mean, the best way to just put it is that, someone's going to lose at one homestand because they were just fucked over by hero pools. And I mean, that's just how it goes, I suppose. So.
Yeah, and some will win based on the hero pools as well, I'm sure. But
so that's just the nature of it.
I think it'll be so weird once we actually get to the mid-season tournament and the playoffs where all of the heroes are allowed again. Because they'll have been balancing all year based on heroes being unavailable. And then, boom, mid-season tournament, all those heroes are back in again.
I'd like to see I think the mid-season, I think there should be hero pools for those.
I think it's going to be so weird. I mean, hopefully it should be cool to be able to see all the heroes available.
It'd be kind of cool if they did like for the mid-season tournament, the hero pools is the most played heroes for the whole first half of the season.
That might be interesting.
Play rate. And then for the second half of the season, for like playoffs, do the same exact thing. I think it's kind of odd to like have the system be like a huge part of the season, but then at like the two most important times, it just kind of like goes away.
It still makes a difference though, because if you've been practicing all season with different rotating hero pools, you don't really know what the best meta is when everything is available.
But then how do you? But like if you're the Shock, right, and you have your playoff spot secured by the All-Star break, let's say, like. You could, 3 weeks before the playoffs, you could just start scrimming with everything available, right?
Yeah.
And have like a massive advantage going in against teams who are like barely trying to get in.
Yeah. The top teams could create their own little scrim click where they're playing the unbanned things again. It's crazy. Overwatch has changed a lot this year.
Yeah.
A lot.
So imagine we did this episode like last year, fucking like, oh guys, surprise! Like every week, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's a crazy idea, but I think some people arguing, and perhaps correctly, that it was necessary. Like viewers really did get bored with goats, like severely bored with goats.
Oh, it's a positive. It's a positive.
The lesser of two evils, perhaps.
It's a positive direction, right? Like, I think with, like, the constant updates and then the willingness to go into hero pools.
The matches have been sick so far.
Yeah, it is a positive direction. I think it's just going to take some tinkering to get the systems down into a spot that they make, like, tons of sense, right?
Yeah.
I do think it'll be... Yeah, what are you saying?
You wanted to talk something about coaching, right? And, like, how important that'll be.
So I think coaching is going to be, like, hugely impactful with the hero pools, but I also think for this early part of the season, let me look at the schedule again, but the teams that were in New York and Philly, those teams go to Washington together, they go to Houston together. It's like the first and then they all go back to Washington again. Like, a lot of the teams, Florida, all of those same teams are there. Like, coaching for the first, 10 weeks for the Atlantic Division, where the Atlantic Division basically travels all within itself until the All-Star break. Like, if you're not, able to, kind of watch a lot of film, and you're playing the same teams almost every week, just traveling together, you should be able to game plan accordingly for some of the teams you're going to be able to see. I think it also even makes the hero pools thing a little bit tougher because it makes it tougher for more of the Pacific teams, right? Because the Atlantic teams are the one who are setting the hero pools right now. The Pacific teams are just kind of at the mercy of whatever they're doing.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
But I think coaching this year is going to be more important than any other time. And I think Just in general, the what the hell is he doing?
I don't know what Bren's doing.
And he just ran out. All right. Well, I forgot who I was talking to or who said it, but I thought it was a really good point. I think I may have for whatever reason, I think I may have been Hex. But this year will be won by like the management staffs of the teams and the teams that like put good people
forgot
in
to
place.
take my my food out.
What? Forgot to take his food out the freezer.
Yeah.
That's very sharp. It's frozen bolognese.
What a dumbass. But this year, I think will be won by the staffs of the teams. Like, I think the teams this year are going to need really good staffs around them, like in terms of like booking and coordinating the travel and making sure that goes all smooth, coordinating scrims with other teams in different regions. I know a few teams already that at the homestands that I've been to that wanted more practice because I think you kind of only get like a lot at a certain amount of time or certain blocks. Teams that went out and found other facilities that they could practice at more. Teams that are trying to optimize travel times to get them like as close as possible. Like I think that's where this year will be towards the end of the season, almost like one in the fact that I think the teams that kind of really put a lot of resources into keeping their players like fresh, well trained, not burnt out via travel. Like those are the teams that are going to have the best success later on in the season.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, I mean, if you were the Shock, right? Do you for one game, do you need to send everybody to Texas? Like, could they have won that game without like that exact roster? Maybe.
Well,
I
they
think
won
you
it
want to
without
bring
Violet.
everyone because
just you bring everybody in case something is sick or something happens. But I think if that match happened in week 15, do you need it, right?
But also, I don't know if it's particularly good for team camaraderie if you don't send the whole squad out. You want to fly the boys out.
Week fucking 15, they're not gonna care about camaraderie. They're like, "Fuck it, I'm staying home."
Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like if you start splitting up the team based off who you want to play here, you start creating cliques within your own team, and that can be bad for team morale. You know what I mean?
Or you have two separate teams. And
you
have them
like
practice. You have them practice the hero pools in advance, and you just flip different. Right?
Because that implies that you have more faith in like one section of the team than the other. Whereas Shock has such a good dynamic right now because they all have faith in the coaching staff to just do what's best.
Would it be an actual we can go back to the league here for a second, probably before we end, but would it be an actual like huge surprise if the Shock didn't win again this year?
If they didn't win again?
Yeah.
If they only won one match the entire season?
No, I mean the
you're so dumb.
Yeah, you're
Jesus Christ.
Even I understood what he meant.
Dumbass.
That's what you said.
The whole fucking league.
Oh, the whole league. I thought you were dead ass asking me if it would be a shock if the Shock only won one match.
They probably got Boston on their schedule. They already know. I mean, come on.
They got Houston coming up. Playing them
no,
twice.
like seriously, with the way their roster is constructed, with how deep it is, and with how talented everybody's on it, like I think the only way, like unless like they kind of really get like owned in the hero pools department, but you think they have enough like depth on the roster to cover it, like they look like the clear-cut favorites.
I don't know though. I think there's other teams that have made pretty significant upgrades.
New York looked good.
I think it's
Shock looked shaky. Like Shock didn't look that great. I don't think any team looked that great so far. Like New York had a little bit of struggles against London, who we thought would be at the bottom of the table. Shock looked a little bit shaky. Had to switch off the meta in order to be able to win their game against Dallas. Philly looked poo in their first match, in my opinion. They were
I think they were nervous. But I think they were a little nervous.
Second match, they did look really good.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit nervous on day one. Like the same thing when we were in New York. Like NYXL said, like they were kind of nervous.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. Actually, both teams looked worse in their first. Oh no.
Yeah.
That was their first.
They were taken aback by the crowd and the chants and the boos and whatnot. They were kind of surprised.
I don't think there's a clear cut like favorite at this point because so much can happen in Overwatch. It's just so random sometimes.
Yeah.
Who'd you guys say your dark horse teams of the year were?
Soul Dynasty.
London.
I put Soul as well.
I had Mayhem.
Oh.
Not to win, but to
I mean,
make
Seoul
it
isn't
into
really a
playoffs.
dark horse, though, is it?
Well,
I
it
had
was
Seoul-
when I did it, because when I did it, people were like, "Oh, they're like 11th. They're just picking up the London core. They're going to do the same old disappointing team, just lose weird games, etc."
I took
And then I
Seoul
picked them, and then people were like, "Oh, they're really good in scrims," and people were like, "Oh, it's not a dark horse." Well, it was when I picked them.
I picked them more of like I thought it was a team everybody knew would like make the playoffs, but more of like a dark horse to win the whole thing.
That's
yeah.
not the
Like,
definition of dark horse.
No,
right?
what's the definition?
It is.
Definition
It's,
dark
unknown players exceeding their expectations. I think everyone's expectations for Seoul was quite high.
Yeah,
But I
you
only
can
get
still
to win the
exceed
league, though. Yeah,
expectations.
if my expectation is for them to win the league, not saying that it is, but
What?
like that could be like a dark horse for me. It's different
Sure.
for everybody.
I was just being pedantic.
Who did you pick, Matt?
I said I had Seoul as my dark horse.
Oh, right, you both
Yeah.
had Seoul.
That, like,
Bren had London.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think London's a fair pick, though, right? Because nobody really knows what to expect from them. So,
well, I mean, if you're going off of the definition of dark horse for Brett
Yeah.
with complete unknowns, he had like one roster to pick from using that definition.
Yeah, pretty much.
he's like amazed that nobody else picked London. You guys
Yeah.
not been reading the dictionary?
Guys, you don't know the definition of dark horse.
Oh my lord!
Oh,
Where do you
Boston,
guys go
Houston
now?
next week. Oh my God, I'm preempting your question. I
Yeah,
could feel it in my
that'll be
soul.
the first match from the local Glendale
Bro.
Gymnasium at the Plat Chat Homestand. It'll be,
Yeah.
it'll be the,
Me and Josh are casted it.
Yeah,
oh my lord!
we've got
That's gonna
the
be good.
Can
battle
you
of the
guys
bottom
get,
feeders.
Can you guys get like little clown noses and like wigs? And
I don't think that's fair.
You can't clown on teams when they've only played like
One game.
one match. Oh well,
Nah.
Boston have only played one match. Houston have played two, right? But
Yeah.
but they
Oh,
do
you-
look so bad.
You guys should make a joke about Houston. It's in Houston, right? Or is it Washington?
No, it's in Washington.
It's in Washington this week. Oh, that stinks. I was gonna say you could make a comment about Houston sports teams cheating, and you would have gotten booed really bad in Houston.
What?
Do Houston sports teams cheat? What's
They
that
got they cheated in the in baseball, and they won the World Series, and everybody's
Really?
and everybody's super angry because the players admitted to cheating. They gave them immunity, so they weren't suspended. And they they suspended the head coach and the general manager, but none of the players that cheated. And they didn't take away their win in the playoffs.
What?
Yeah.
How did they cheat? Like, what? How egregious was it?
So they had a replay system that was basically somebody in the dugout was watching the games from like a TV, and he figured out the signs to determine where the pitches were going and whatnot. And if a pitch
Oh.
and they would bang on a trash can next to the dugout if the pitch was a certain pitch. So the hitters always knew what kind of pitch was coming
Oh.
to them. So they knew where the pitches were going to be and what type
As a
of pitches
player.
it was.
As a player, how can you be okay with that?
They won.
You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah,
they
I
didn't get
know.
suspended. They didn't get suspended for it.
But if
And
you're an
then,
athlete, how can you be okay with cheating?
And then
Like, it's
they're
not-
still looking into it. But the like one of the parts of the investigation was that one player actually wore a wire with a buzzer that would buzz a different way, determining on what pitch it was, and it was like on his shoulder. So when he was up there like this, he would get the information of what was coming, like via the buzz, and then would just.
Wow.
And he won the MVP of the league
Oh my God.
that season. And all the baseball players in the league, this is a completely off the topic. If you don't like baseball, which most likely our fan base is at an age where baseball is incredibly boring, you're probably not interested in this. But
Yeah, but everyone loves cheating.
right. So they so because this guy admitted to like being a part of it, he didn't get suspended, and all the other baseball players in the league are like, well, I guess like we can just cheat and win.
Yeah, and just hang our head coaches out to dry every time.
The commissioner said he's like, oh well, I feel bad, taking a hunk of metal back from the team that won, and it's like it's the fucking world trophy, and he referred to it as a hunk of metal. It's called the Commissioner's Cup or whatever the fuck it is, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a hunk of metal. He's like, oh, we can't take it away from them. That would be weird.
What a bum.
Yeah.
What an
He's such a
actual
bum.
bum.
Their owner's a bum too. The Astros owner. He was like, he's like, oh, I don't think it impacted the games that much. And then somebody was like, are you saying it didn't impact the games? And then he's like, I never said that. And they're like, you literally just said that. He's like, no, I didn't. It was like the biggest disaster of a PR thing
That's
ever.
quite
But if you guys go to Houston,
baseball's sick,
cheaters. Baseball? Nah, nobody watched baseball. I mean, I used to play baseball. Ain't nobody's playing baseball now. I mean,
it's the only sport you can be short in.
No, not entirely. I mean, every other sport has people who are
jockey?
short.
Horse racing? Those are very short.
Soccer, football.
I want to see Morello
even in
be
football,
a horse jockey.
Messi is like an outlier, right? As a really short person. Normally the tall people are better.
You'd just be a jockey, I think. Or a darts player.
Darts player. He needs to add another 200 pounds to be a darts player.
How should we end these shows from now on? We were ending it just talking about crappy topics that we would ask Bren, but
follow @Reinforce on Twitter. That's how I end it.
Yep. Keep that clout farming going, Johnny.
Clout. You should know by now. There's no clout to be farmed in Overwatch, Johnny.
Well, I'm trying.
He's trying.
I'm trying to keep the scene alive with my Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Johnny's trying to keep the whole scene alive.
Well,
so it's going great.
Ask me a question.
What? Any question?
There's a lot of questions.
What's your opinion on the socioeconomic status of Gaza?
No.
That's so dumb.